Hey everyone, Andy Raffel from eTeknix.com, and today is a day where we're actually going to let people into the eTeknix offices. Let's do this. I wish these files would transfer faster. Come on! Whoa, is that the FireCuda 510 NVMe drive with its blistering fast speeds of 3450 megabytes a second read, 3200 megabytes a second write, and capacities of up to 2 terabyte? I can have these files transferred in no time. And if I'm looking for the ultimate performance, I could even get the 4th generation FireCuda 520. I better check the link in the description to find out more details. So let me give you a little bit more information about what's actually going on today. Now that lockdown is over, we can basically meet up with people again. We've decided to actually open up the eTeknix offices. This office here, as well as the studio next door, which I will show you as well. And we're going to be opening it up to our Patreons. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, Patreons are people who support us. They basically pay to support us. They get perks and benefits like behind the scenes content, very much similar to this, but we're opening this up to everyone. They get to basically join us for a game night that we do every other Saturday where we play stupid games and have a laugh, drink beer, all that kind of good stuff. The other thing that they get to do, and this kind of came about on a game night where we was just talking in general, is why don't we all just have a little meet-up? We're going to be camping in a field, drinking. We're going to be having a few little giveaways, competitions on the day and stuff like that. It's currently just before 10 a.m. on Saturday the 4th, so we are kind of just getting everything ready. And yesterday, between myself, Matt, and Ben, who used to work for us, he actually came down and gave us a hand at tidying up. And I've got to admit, this is the tidiest this room has ever seen, other than when I first got this office and didn't actually move anything into it. It's not been tidier since. So let me tell you about kind of what we've got, what's happening, and give you just, a bit of an insight as to what we've got going on. So, first things first, this is where Matt sits. This is where he edits all the amazing videos that we normally use our Blackmagic camera for. We're actually using our Sony today, just because of autofocus and vlog reasons. The Blackmagic's huge once it's rigged up. But Matt's got 2 AOC monitors. They are 28-inch, I think, 4K, which is especially handy when we're doing editing and things like that. He's got a NAS next to him to store all of our footage because 6K raw footage is just monumentally huge in file size. One thing you will notice, NZXT H1. We are still using it. We have been using it since its launch. And we have had zero problems. Absolutely no problems with it whatsoever. We did change over the riser sort of screws to the nylon ones that they sent out, that they were sending out in kits, and we still had no problems after that. So we are one of, I guess, the earlier adopters of the NZXT H1. It's amazing because it takes up literally no room. I'm probably even going to be using 2 of these for my kids' PCs at home, just because of how much kind of footprint they don't really take up. What else have we got? We've got all of our drives and everything that we use for filming, and we've got this one, which is the lacy one, which anyone who's been on our social media will know. We dropped this out of a window. I mean, literally, we can. It doesn't break. It's rugged as hell. It's solid. We dropped it out of a window. We drove over it with my car. That's the exact one. We've cleaned it up a little bit, but we did drive over that with a car, and it's still working. We actually use it to film stuff. What else have we got? Secret Lab Cyberpunk chair. I got given this. It works. It's not the greatest and most comfortable chair. It is going to be replaced by these, which are the Cyberchair E500s from Thermaltake in black. And I can actually show you one of them over here, because here's one that I made earlier. So this is the Cyberchair E500. It's a mesh chair, it's ergonomic, it's comfortable, it's got lumbar support. It's just a really, really nice chair. And that kind of brings me over to where I am. So, this is kind of my setup. I'm using the MSI PS341WU. It's a 5K, 2K monitor. 5K that way, 2K that way. I've also got a 4K monitor here as well, just for Discord, Skype, Facebook Messenger, that kind of stuff. This is basically Test Bench Central, which I will kind of give you a little bit more of an insight into. And then kind of all the stuff that helps me, with the test bench side of things. So I have a spare test bench here. We have got loads of legs down here from Furna. We've been meaning to make a video since the beginning of time. These are going to be our new desks instead of these horrible kind of, IKEA worktops and that. We've actually got some proper desks, which are just behind the sofa over there. We're going to be getting them with the up-down desks so that we have that flexibility. Matt's going to be sitting in the corner. We're going to have an in-out desk where products that come in, we can sort of check them in. We want to make a booking system that we're probably going to use QR codes or barcodes or something to make our life easier, because this is how it is at the moment, which let me tell you about kind of our thing here. So this from here over and down here are all the stuff that we have to work on. I don't think there's anything that's like NDA-able, but there's that. There is a microwave and a coffee machine in there, but it's literally just got stuff everywhere. This is all stuff that needs sorting, down here as well, down here, here, here. This, as you can see, whenever we do anything like a build or unboxings or stuff like that, we always lose stuff. It's inevitable. You know, we will have little things laying around here, there and everywhere, like a cable tie that needs to go with something, or a screw or something. So what we do is we go through all this stuff here, we label it up so it tells you kind of what we're missing. Then when we're searching through other things, we go, I've just found 4 black SATA cables, 2 of them are right angled. Cool, that means it goes with this one. We can then put it with that can then go on this shelf, and this is all the stuff that needs to be basically dealt with, inventoried and so forth. And that is basically this room. We have got a monitor over here, which the plan was to use as a TV to re-watch through like YouTube videos before they actually go live, but we've kind of found ourselves never really using it. So kind of what's the point of that? But we have got an NVIDIA Shield hooked up to it with a remote and everything. And then we've got our sofa. So this is essentially our casting couch. It's comfortable, it is actually a sofa bed. So if there are ever the days where I'm working really late, I could actually sleep in the office. Not that I ever do, but there is that. This actually opens up and there's loads of merch and everything sitting underneath. But going back to today, so we are basically doing this event. It is sponsored by a few different brands. So we've got XSPC and Water Cooling UK, MSI as well, and Seagate and Corsair have sent us some stuff as well. So we thought it was only fitting to get a few things out on the window. So we've got the MSI Lucky plushie. I actually want the really big one, like Linus had, like, you know, full size kind of thing, stand next to it. You know, really love one of them. So MSI, if you're watching this, please send one over. I don't know where it would go, but I want one. We've got Seagate Fire Cooler. This is the funny thing. We're actually giving away like goodie bags today and everything, but 5 people are going to win some amazing prizes from Seagate. And one of them is this little figurine of the kind of dragon, as well as a 2 terabyte Fire Cooler 510 NVMe drive. So there is that. We've got a couple of different iterations of the eTeknix hat, and then we've got the oh so shiny Lucky MSI statue as well. So I guess essentially we won't focus on this area here because it's an absolute mess. Haven't got around to doing that. Need to obviously put some eTeknix cable ties on there and then that's done. But that is this room. So let's head next door and show you, I guess, the not so tidy room, but that's where all of the magic happens. So this is the studio. Yes, it's nowhere near as clean, but find me a studio that is clean. This is basically how it looks at the moment. So here is our main camera. This is the beast, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. It's got an 18 to 35 Sigma lens on it. It's got this great big Atomos 4K display on there with a chunky battery. It's got a V-mount battery underneath and it's got a massive cage all over it with a V-mount plate and everything. This is kind of what we use for 99% of our filming. If we're doing something that's kind of, you know, 2 cameras, then we have actually got another Blackmagic camera just over there on a separate tripod, so we end up using that. Probably use that like less than 5% of the time. It got to a point where I was like, let's get another one, and then we've never actually used it. But we have extra plans for the studio where we essentially want to have 2 different sets. So what we might end up doing is having one camera for one set, one for another. But I have just seen the price cuts on the Ursa 12K from Blackmagic to like £5,000, and I want a 12K camera. I don't know why. We don't need it. It's for YouTube. But I'm a bit of a camera nerd, so yeah, I want one. This is our test bench setup now. It's actually on a trolley, so we can kind of wheel it in and out of this room as well as the other room, and it just makes life easier. We've got a streaming PC that we use down here because it's small form factor, with a keyboard, mouse, stream deck, and all that kind of stuff. So we have that. We have what everyone sort of thinks is a green screen. Obviously it's not. Graphics cards galore. You don't have a graphics card because we have them all. It's not that simple. These are review samples. They get rotated. We don't always get to keep them. It's just they are there. And not all of them are new. You know, we've got old cards, 1070s, 1080s and stuff down there. Exactly the same with motherboards. Obviously a huge plethora of them. We've got boxes everywhere. We've got the thermal tape rig that we started doing and then ran into some problems. That's going to be custom looped. All to do with the power and the cables that we've actually got from To The Wire Mods. But amazing cables. It's just we're having problems with the power delivery. So we are in the process of trying to fix that. But this is kind of how it looks at the moment, with just huge cables everywhere on top of the thermal tape desk, which is an up-down desk and it does light up. It's got like a rope light that goes around it. Mess everywhere, more mess, lights, which for some reason, whenever I walk past, I always end up looking into, just for some weird reason. Loads of stuff up here, which is just kind of bits and bobs that we haven't got around to sorting out. But one thing that we have got, and that's over here. So this is some of the tubing that XSPC and Water Cooling UK sent us. And what we're going to be doing for our patrons today at the Patreon meetup is actually using this stuff to see who can do the cleanest, tightest bends. And I'm hoping that no one who's coming today is actually, well versed in water cooling or anything like that, because I want everyone to kind of have a go at, using a heat gun, using a silicone insert, seeing what kind of bends they can get by eye. I don't want them using mandrels and stuff like that. Whoever gets the tightest, cleanest, nicest looking bends will win a prize from XSPC. So we've got a whole box of XSPC prizes. There's coolant in there, there's lubricant, there's tube bending kits, loads of really cool stuff. Beneath that we have Seagate prizes. Now inside this is going to be the goodie bags with 2 terabyte NVMe drives worth like £300, $300, somewhere around that kind of price point, as well as that little Dragon and a few other little goodies, which we will do in another video. We're going to have a whole video of what's going on today. And then underneath there is some other goodie bags from, so we've got the little ones from MSI with a little Lucky and a little key ring and a few other little things. There's an 8 gig USB flash drive in there. There's more Seagate merch. There's loads of cool stuff going on in there. As we go over to here, we've got the director chair that Matt sits in when we're filming, which is probably the most uncomfortable chair in the world. More shelves of stuff that kind of needs organising. It's not, looking the greatest. Air compressor, literally it's the loudest thing in the world, but the most handiest thing in the world when you're trying to clean keyboards and things like that. For anyone who's always using them cans of compressed air, that's like 120, 150 quid, something like that. Definitely get one if you have the room for it. As we come around here, we've got all of our water cooling stuff, we've got all of our processors, a few other little bits and bobs, and then over here is kind of stuff that needs sorting out. So admittedly, all the stuff that's over there that needs sorting out should be coming over here, but there's no room on here yet. Once it's sorted out, it then goes on the appropriate shelf. And yeah, we basically go from there. And that is it. I wanted to sort of do a little bit of a tour as to kind of how the office and how the studio and everything looks, but also tell you about what's going on today. We are going to do a video today kind of the whole day, of the event, of what's happening, who's coming, everyone trying to hopefully sort of, bend tubing and, it being basically a bit of a laugh. And if this goes well, we're actually going to look at doing maybe 2 more Patreon meetups next year, so 2 a year. And hopefully, we get more and more people. We understand not everyone's from the UK, not everyone can get here. There were actually a couple of people from France and Norway who wanted to come, but because of restrictions due to the pandemic, it's been a tricky one. But we are going to live stream that for them on Discord as well. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If it all sounds good to you, definitely consider signing up to Patreon. It starts at £1 a month or $1 a month if you're in another country. It's really, really cheap. It supports us, allows us to do what we love to do for you guys, to bring you content, and you get loads of perks with it as well. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know exactly what to do. And I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.